So we share a lot about making soup, healthy soup, meaning lots of meat or veggie in the soup that's making the soup very healthy and at the same time low in calories. Today I want to share with you how to tell whether the soup that you are making or drinking from restaurants. Some of the restaurant soups are awesome, I mean, but however, they might put a lot of ingredients that are not so healthy for you to make it taste so good. I'm not sure if you often have Asian food, some Asian food or other kind of soup. You can tell when something, when the soup is got a lot of nutrient in it. For example, if you go to a restaurant and you taste a bowl soup, sometimes you can tell the flavor, and not just the flavor but the thickness of the soup. Not just the thick, but not cream soup, I mean like the broth. You can taste the amount of meat the restaurant put into to make that soup instead of just water, and then add flavor, like for example, one of the salt that make the soup so flavorful in Asian culture is the MSG, right? Monosodium glutamate, which is like some people like it, but it makes you like, it's kind of addicting, right? It makes you, sometimes some people feel very thirsty, and it adds a lot of flavor, but the thing is, it's not that good for you. So there is another way to make this soup better for you without that too much MSG. So when you go to a restaurant, they give you soup because they used a lot of they used very less meat into making the soup, so mostly water, but then they want to make the soup flavorful, so they add a lot of MSG in it. So, but if you need to take a look whether the soup is good for you or not, it's really taste it, and when you taste it enough, you can tell. Right? For me, I love soup. So when I go out and drink a bowl of soup, I can tell right away how much nutrients in it. Is it just is the flavor coming from the nutrient from the soup, for example the meat, the veggie, or just water with a lot of salt and spice and then MSG. So it's very important, right? So when you go to a restaurant and drink soup, but make sure what the soup tastes like. There's so much MSG in the soups or salt that sometimes you can tell right away, right? So that's the beauty. If you cook a lot, then you are able to tell. So if you are making soup at home, and I mentioned earlier in the other video, if you know that you put a lot of nutrients in the soup, like meat, right? And if you put it in the refrigerator, the soup will turn like jelly, right? If there's not a lot of nutrients or meat in the soup, the liquid stays very liquidy, not not jelly-like. So that's how you can tell whether there are a lot of nutrients in the soup. This is how I was brought up to cook the soup my way. All right, so just be careful when you go outside and drink soup. Of course, when you have cream soup outside, you can't really tell because all mixed with cream and milk. But if you are drinking soup that doesn't have any milk, you can tell how rich the broth is. All right, so just make sure you're drinking healthy soup.